Hey guys, I'm Derek with LTC Tree. I'm here with my cousin Drew Nichols. Today we're going to talk about long-term care insurance claims. How long do you need to plan for a long-term care insurance claim? And go over the statistics. I'm going to start with a personal story. My own mom, she's going to be on one extreme, and Drew's dad is on the other end of the extreme. My mom, probably at age 65, she had her knee replaced. And then she had a fall right after the surgery. 13 surgeries later, she was in a wheelchair. She was also a little bit overweight, and that led to a longer claim. So from start to finish, my mom needed care for 13 years off and on. It was started out with home health care. We did that for about 10 years. Then it got to the point where we couldn't really physically move her. So we had to go to the assisted living facility the last 3 years. So that's kind of one extreme. And Drew, how you doing today? Let's hear about your story with your dad.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm Drew. Derek and I are cousins, and that means that Derek's mom and my dad, brother and sister. So, we're talking brother and sister siblings here. And my dad, at age 66, came down with multiple cancers. It was like stage 4 by the time he even went to the doctor. He was just a persnickety old guy, like so many guys are. Doesn't want to go to the doctor till he's damn near dead. And sure enough, he did get put in a nursing home after leaving the hospital, which, by the way, that's often paid for by Medicare for up to 100 days. And he was in there for 7 days total, like in the nursing home, 7 days, and then unfortunately passed away. So, kind of a somber, set of stories we're telling here. But the reason why we're doing this, as Derek, we were trying to figure out how can we like kind of relate this to the real world is you don't know, even siblings in similar health, whether you're going to be that person who needs care for 7 days or 13 plus years.
Yeah, and that's kind of our job is, we are like most people, we're very frugal. We're both economists. I went to UGA, Drew went to Clemson. We're economists by nature, and our nature is kind of efficient allocation of resources. We don't like wasting money any place, and especially on long-term care insurance premiums. And that's kind of our model is to try to help our clients find the balance between what is too much coverage and too little. So one of our I guess discussion points we'll have with clients is we'll talk to them about their health. I mean, what's your health like? Are you overweight? Do you have diabetes? Is there any Alzheimer's or dementia history in your family? If there is, maybe you get a little bit longer plan. But if your dad died of a heart attack on the golf course, then maybe you get a shorter plan and just hedge the risk. So, trying to find that balance between, what is too much insurance and too little is definitely a conversation you'll have with us.
Yeah, and jumping into the statistics, I'm going to share a little graph that we created here for people who make it to age 65. There's a 70% chance that they're going to need some amount of long-term care, and there's a 30% chance, of course, the inverse, that they're not going to need care at all. So there is a risk that's latent in most of us. It's fair to say. But you never know which side of that statistic you're on. But like Derek said, you get some clues from your own health. Um, One thing we were talking about before we made this video in particular was height and weight and body build proportion. We've seen a lot of people that are more overweight be more likely to need long-term care. So let's maybe talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, I've been doing this since right out of college in 1999. And so I can't believe I've been doing this for that long, but I've had almost 26 years of seeing trends. This is anecdotal, but just, talking to thousands and tens of thousands of people over the years, learning about their health, their parents' health. And what I've seen as far as a trend is the the people we're talking to right now on average are more overweight than they were 20 years ago. When I started, it was more the baby boomer generation. Now it's their baby boomers' kids. And I'd say the baby boomers' kids, on average, are a little bit less healthy than their parents. And then if you think about it, it kind of makes intuitive sense to, our your parents, grandparents, they used to live on farms, they ate more whole foods. Now we're kind of in a fast food society. We got DoorDash, everybody's busy. So I think that plays into what your point, Drew, is the obesity. America's, now they're having drugs that you can lose weight on. So I think the obesity thing has been increasing. I've seen longer claims. The claims have probably gone from, I remember it was 2.9 years. It's probably in the threes, maybe the high threes now. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm encountering more and more clients that are on some of these miracle weight loss drugs like Ozempic and some of the others, and
Yeah.
maybe that'll have a positive impact. If those drugs help people lose weight and their A1Cs come down and their cholesterol and blood pressure come back into normal range, that's pretty close to miracle drug territory. I was actually talking to a client yesterday about how things like that can have an impact on the future of this long-term care industry. The example we were talking about is, what if they're able to nail something like they've done for weight loss with Ozempic and these other drugs? What if they can nail Alzheimer's and make it where, yeah, you have Alzheimer's, but we can improve it and you might live a little bit longer than you do now? That could make, and I'm going to show one more slide here, that could make the duration of long-term care substantially longer than it is now. So let's jump into this little chart. So we said 70% of people are going to need long-term care, but how long are they going to need care for? And that's what we cover with this image here. So 35%, let's call it, are going to need care for just 1 year. So 35% of people, 1 in 3, just a year. 45% are going to need it for more than 2 years. So that's an interesting sort of dichotomy there. And then 5 years plus, this is what you really are going to need long-term care for, is still 20% of people. So one of these policies is going to be very useful if you fall into either one of these buckets here. If you're only going to need it for a year, most people could self-insure that. It's the multi-year thing that I think people are more concerned about.
Yeah, because that's what could wipe out the nest egg is, it's not like you said, it's not 1 or 2 years. Most people could pay for that out of pocket, but it's if you do get hit with that 5+ year, period. I mean, the money's gonna have to come from somewhere. And it's often you'll have to, if you don't have the insurance, you're gonna have to start selling off assets, maybe at the wrong time. Maybe you're selling it in November of 2022 when the market was on a free fall down 30%. But if you're in the nursing home, you got to sell the assets right then. So, and that's kind of going back to what we started the conversation with is, our job is to help you find that balance between, too much coverage and too little. And maybe you don't need a long policy for both of you. Men statistically are the least likely to need it out of the male and female. So maybe you get a small plan for the husband, get a larger plan for the wife. Because if you go to a nursing home, Drew, who's there?
It's 90, this is not an actual number, but it's like 90% women,
It
it might
is,
actually be
yeah.
90%.
It is. So I mean, it's just women. They live longer. They die slower. Men die of the heart attacks, that type of thing. Women typically. So that's one strategy is just get a little bit longer plan for the wife. But yeah, but to your point, yeah, it could be that some modern medicine might invent drugs to prolong people's lives. Like if they do develop like AIDS, for example, they used to kill people. Now it's more chronic condition. If they develop a drug for Alzheimer's, where it might not kill you, but it's a chronic condition that you have to manage for a couple of decades, that keeps you alive, and so you're probably gonna need some attention. You might not need somebody bathing you, physically bathing you, but you might need somebody to go food shopping, run to Costco for you, make you a sandwich, make sure
Yeah.
you don't fall when you're getting in and out of the bathtub. Just somebody to keep an eye on you, like a nanny type person. But that is long-term care.
That is long-term care. And I'm not sure what happened, but there were just fireworks that showed up on your video. But anyway, um,
Okay.
one more thing before we wrap this video up is a lot of the plans that we're selling these days are actually umbrella plans where you don't have to target the risk to just him or just her. I call it umbrella because it covers both husband and wife. And we've got a couple of those that we can quote for you. If you're in the market shopping around for this, definitely reach out to us at our website and we'll put a QR code at the end of this video up on the screen. We are LTC Tree, and our big reason for existing is to help people compare multiple versions of these policies. So like us, subscribe to this channel if you'd like to learn more about this topic. And I don't know, anything else we want to wrap up with?
Yeah, no, I think you hit all the key points. And yeah, our motto is we work for you, not the insurance company. So at the time you reach out to us, we're going to shop the market and find which company at that exact time in your state has the best deal for you. And that changes over the years. Like I said, I've been doing this since 99, and there's probably been 10 companies over that period of time that have had the lowest rates, and it all changes. So we'll kind of help you just sift through the clutter and find the best fit for you. And like Drew said, like us, like the page. We do videos weekly on this and these topics. And visit our website if you want to talk to us directly.
Yep. So we'll wrap it up. Thank you all for watching, and have a good day. Bye bye.